papers. He owns 77 patents in total, out of which 76 are Indian patent and one is US patent. He has contributed towards 27 research, while 8 are in progress. In addition to this, he has completed 54 consultancy projects and one is in progress. Under his supreme supervision, 97 students have completed their doctoral degree and 168 students have completed their master's degree. He has a wide area of research and is not limited to just solar PV grid interface system, microgrid, power quality monitoring and mitigation, solar PV water pumping system, improved power quality, AC-DC converter, power electronic, electrical machine and drive, flexible AC transmission system, and high voltage direct current system. Now, coming to the awards backed by Professor Singh, which is a total of 79 awards in various fields. A few of them are Khosla Research Prize Award by University of Roorkee in 1991. He is a recipient of J.C. Bose and Bimal K. Bose Award of the Institution of Electronic and Telecommunication for his contribution in the field of power electronics. And there are yet many more to be penned down. Now, not taking much of the time of this session, I would like to call upon Professor Bhim Singh sir to start with his valuable session. Welcome, sir.
Oh, thank you, Professor Dhananjay. I hope you can see the slide and you can listen to me.
Yes, sir. You are very crispy, audible, and your slides are visible.
Okay. Thank you very much. I mean, give me again the opportunity to talk to the probably on this AICTE utterly sponsored 1-week faculty development program on artificial intelligence and green power technology. Well, as far as of course the topic is close to our heart, I mean, but of course the green power technology is very wide. So I'd like to confine my talk only to probably on the solar photovoltaic, which probably we are working. I hope other speaker will cover the wide spectrum for all the green technology and their control, especially through artificial intelligence technique. So whatever, I mean, we have worked probably last 1 decade, especially in the solar. I mean, for reasonable funding of probably from different projects of Indo-UK, Indo-US, couple of projects of Indo-USA, couple of projects of couple of projects on SERI, solar. I mean, typically DSC brought the special initiative called Solar Energy Research Initiative, and then of course the Indo-UK couple of program. One was on typically initially on kind of microgrid, and another was of course, I mean, with the juice which is going on, and another on Indo-US on microgrid, like, I mean, also. So we are, and of course there are a couple of other projects which are application, of course, on the solar, either it is solar water pumping system or typically other applications related to solar, like on. So well, we started working around a decade before. I mean, from a project of around 1 crore in the from the SERI, and then we go on expanding, I mean, to this line. So virtually why we started working in, of course, initially we started with the wind because all the machine equipment were available with us. So I mean, that time also I was a little conservative to start with. I mean, but when we touch, we don't want to really give up in between the technology, like. So this solar, I mean, really it is a tough, because it start coming in practical implementation. Already a lot of, you can call it installation in India also. I mean, we already have, I will talk about a little bit figure which are there. I mean, because we are 4th in the growth and we are 5th absolutely in this solar PV generation, like in the world. So if such a growth is there, then what research you would like to do it? That you have to think about. But when we look into then where the who and crisis were there, typically in India, that the solar, I mean, why we start working, that people start saying the solar inverter created a lot of power quality problem and they trip also. I mean, that was the buzzword given by a lot of, let's say, people, and one person even from Delhi Regulatory Board came to my office to discuss something, and he was damn against with the solar. And probably I should frankly say such kind of interesting experience. I mean, that time the 500 kilowatt, the panel installation probably plant came for this in Commonwealth, and he was very damn against. And if clouds come, that it goes power from 0 to full, and that. So I told, look, I mean, whatever you are getting, think about the positive. No, I mean, why you think about the negative? But we have to find out in a way. Of course, we understand there are, I mean, some issues with the solar photovoltaic, but issues with everybody. I'm like, so it does not mean we leave the technology, but if it is a so cheap electricity, we are able to get it. and without pollution and lot of benefits with this technology. Like, and another side, front side of research side, if we talk about, government of India put, I think, probably several hundred crore on the solar cell. When I've gone to the different committee level around decade back, I told you have to give some money for the technology development or research in the technology, like which is at least the people should understand what technology we should adopt, or even if it is coming from overseas, we should be able to accept the right technology if different options are given from different manufacturer or industries. Like so, with that we started the concept, and you can understand such topics which are really in practice are very tough to. It does not matter whether it is a mobile technology or it is any other. Like, so research doing in that is not so easy. You can call it like, and people don't accept it. You have seen already the 5G. You can call it the issues recently. Like how it has gone to in different directions. Like, so this is also very upcoming technology required for the India. So what we started, just give you two idea on that. Of course, Dhananjay already introduced myself to you. So we have a like a typically, the not renewable already, and certainly why we are going to renewable, because number one, it is going to be costly and we have to import also oil and gas, and you have seen the prices are not in petrol and diesel and all other these fossil prices are not in our hand because we are importing. So if the cost goes probably from the back higher, the same cost will be reflected next day to you, whether it does not matter you go to the your motorcycle or petrol to fill up. But this renewable energy, which initially started typically, we were having initially small hydro and biofuel, and then of course came the wind worldwide, and now we are in the typically in the solar. Typically, like so. What I mean in this case, we'll, so this is the of course technology came in this way, but the growth is also have been in the way. Solar came quite late, but the growth has been the highest in that case. Like. So that is, and the government of India is decided already by 2022 175 gigawatt, especially 100 with the 100 gigawatt with the solar. So you can think about, all other renewable compared to other renewable, other renewable supposed to be 75 gigawatt, but solar itself have to be 100 gigawatt, and that is only up to 2022. So you have a hardly 1 year left, 1.5 year left. To meet that target, like, but of course the things are positive. But of course, Corona has given little flip to it. But I think it is coming big way otherwise. Like, so the total renewable. You can think about in power scenario. I asked my student to take some data from probably either from ministry or from central government or MNRE website. So he got this that so we have a 94 around 95.43 gigawatt already the renewable, and this accounts to around 24.71% of the total power generation. So you can understand we already have a renewable 25% in our total grid network, and we are not facing any problem. Like, believe or not, this year we got minimum background. Maybe Delhi may be different, but in general, you are getting reasonable power even in other state also like UP. Also, but once power is there, then only you can get it. No? So it means there is have been a reasonable generation. So. And typically, these are the some of the data which, of course, you may like to. I can probably give the slide and you can live go through it. And this is the contribution that how the private, state government, and central government for this install capacity of India is. So private have come substantially in this direction. And this is the probably the of course in different year installation. And this is of course in 2021. Typically, you can think about like how it is start going to in typically in different years the growth of this energy. And this is the sign you can see now after 2018 to 19, and if you go to 2019-20 and later of course 2021, there is a now sign of reduction of the coal consumption. Especially in electricity generation. It means because renewable coming now it is 25%. Okay, it may go much sharper further. Like you can think about when it was started with some 175 gigawatt, we were having 284 gigawatt. So we were expecting like it will go probably renewable go at least typically around 40%. So we already achieved the target of typically of 25%, and to go 15% in I think 2 years will not be very difficult. Earlier we see there is always the delay, but I think that probably 2022 is a special year. Federal government or state government will not we really lack into it because it's our celebration of 75 years of independence. Everybody keeping target to that. Does not matter. Even the you can call it the project or installation or erection started before the first activities in throughout the country, in spite of the very pressure of this epidemic. Like so, sign are coming this that now we are probably getting reduction of the fossil fuel like coal consumption in power generation. And this is another sign you can think about the strata, about the per capita consumption. Like, of course, we are very down compared to the developed country, but of course, we also gone in last probably you can think about 15 years, almost to like a double. I mean, the per electricity consumption. But this is very important index that if we are able to have electricity more per person, I mean, like per capita consumption, I mean, certainly it's going to going to probably you can call it the growth of the country. Like, I mean, so why we require renewable? I mean, most of our electricity comes from coal, nuclear, and other non-renewable plants. And producing energy from these resources takes a severe toll on an environment, polluting our air, land, and water. And renewable energy sources can be used to produce the electricity with fewer environmental impact. And these resources, I mean, like typically also have the benefit of being abundant, available in some capacity nearly everywhere, and they cause little, if any, environmental damage. And fossil fuels such as oil, coal, natural gas are not renewable since their quantity is finite. But once we have extracted them, they will cease to be available for the use of economically viable energy source. Well, the electricity generation and your health. So 66% of your national sulfur dioxide, which causes acid rain, comes from the electricity generation, and 35% nitrogen oxide, I mean, like which react the sunlight to create the ground level ozone and smoke, comes from the electricity generation. And ozone occurs naturally in the upper atmosphere, where it is beneficial. However, ozone in the lower atmosphere create the urban haze, which we call smog. Particulate matter is the type of pollution which commonly referred to as soot, and exposure to particulate matter. This particulate matter is especially harmful to the people with lungs and disease, especially asthma, bronchitis, and typically emphysema and heart disease. So carbon dioxide is a climate change gas and causes global warming. Global warming can lead to spread of infectious diseases such as malaria and dengue fever. It also contribute the air quality pollution, which increase the health effects and other things like. So these are the problem with the conventional, I mean, like in the electricity generation. But why we have to go renewable? The renewable benefit the economy, the good for business, providing energy security, economic development, energy price stability, and reduces the global risk of climate change. And it provides the energy security, reliable power supply, and fuel diversification, which enhances the energy security and lower risk of fuel spills while reducing the need for import fuels. And it provides the price stability because these resources do not entail fuel cost. I require transportation, therefore offer great price stability. And of course, electricity and environment. The renewable energy and environment goes in hand to hand. So the traditional electricity generation is essential for emission of cost of chemical with widespread environmental impact. Like you can see the difference in the your greenhouse gas emission. I mean, like typically by study done by different groups that how the your conventional or you can call it fossil fuel provide the environment typically. I mean, per gigawatt like CO2, and where this you can think about renewable like a solar PV. And if you talk about biomass or wind, how much is the less comparatively you can. I mean, this is probably maybe 1/10 of that. Like I mean, or so. Well, in the renewable, we have, of course, you can call it, we have first small hydro, then it came the wind, and then it came the solar. And the growth have been also in the manner. I mean, the highest growth solar have seen, second highest growth wind have seen. I mean, and even typically the earlier have been a hydro, but hydro also it's very difficult to have a hydro large. And I've seen the even the plant of probably about 50 megawatt or 100 megawatt a time take a full. You can call it typically the full one generation about 25 years. Where the solar you can install probably in a couple of months because everything things come fabricated. Only you make a typical frame, either it is a rooftop or on the building or even the ground. So plant may be ready within a probably few months as far as solar photovoltaic is concerned. Wind also may take little time, but wind also does not take more than a year or so. So these plants, very reason is that they can be erected and installed very short period. That is the very first benefit. And the another major benefit, it can be installed, especially the solar, everywhere, whether it is your rooftop or it is the building top or it is probably the road or it is a typically. I will give you the typical example. I mean, little estimation we made on it. Like, so anyhow, these are typically you can think about like how it has been the target in different parts. Like, and what is the solar today? Like a 40 gigawatt small hydro. I mean, out of this, like a renewable, I mean, typically like, I mean, also, and the wind. So wind already crossed already crossed the wind. However, wind came earlier about typically around 1 decade before that. I mean, and the total we have a 94. I mean, already might be touching around the 100 gigawatt. So, but challenge is there in next 2 years we must have a 75 gigawatt approximately. But believe it or not, every month is going adding like anything. And you can think about like how the solar have really jumped in last 4 to 5 years only. I mean, like these are anyhow some of the data like total how the total cumulative capacity or so. So why solar? It's a limitless energy. The sun provides more than enough energy to meet the whole world energy needs, and unlike fossil fuel, it will not run out anytime soon. And all the renewable energy source, the only limitations of solar power is our ability to turn into electricity into an efficient and cost-effective way. As the publication Renewable Energy Information estimate the Earth's surface receive 120,000 terawatts of solar irradiation, which is represents the 20,000 times more power than the whole planet needs. Like so, that much the energy you can think about is available with the sun or like a solar system. And solar power is good for the environment as renewable CO2-free power source. Environmental impact of solar power is significantly smaller than the other power generation methods, and the impact mainly related to the production and supply of the special material and metals that are required to produce the solar panel. Well, solar power can use under unutilized land. Across the country, there are vast lands that are far away from big city or capital and are not used for anything at all. But these lands are not too far also, as you could have been either for hydro or could have been for the coal. I mean, they are not very far from the city, I mean, like also. And why the solar power, we can actually make use of the land and subsequently generate great value of, and solar energy provides the source of power everyone. And solar power causes the less electricity loss. Because why the electricity loss is less? Because you're not having you don't need electricity need to be transported from big power plant to the end users via extensive network, which we require otherwise, like maybe like a nuclear or maybe like a typically hydro, or we need probably with the your thermal also. So long distance transmission equal power losses are reduced, and rooftop solar is helpful in increasing the electricity efficiency considering the short distance means wherever you are, I mean, using same place we are generating. I mean, like what we have a 2 megawatt on our rooftop, even that power is not going to transformer even. It is used at the place where it is already installed above the blocks, and it is consumed just below typically the panels, I mean, on the different floors. So your energy becomes domestic and as a result, you are in control of your own bill and energy usage. The solar power creates a job and economic growth. So our national economy can be helped by solar power, and the more people vote for the solar, the more needs will be for company to install solar panels. This creates additional job for skilled workers and consequently keep the economy growing. In 2015, for instance, the UK has become the second largest solar employer with 35,000 people, and the continent largest solar power panel installation market. And it also boosts energy independence. So sun is a near infinite source of energy and key component achieving the, you can call it, energy independence. And by increasing our capacity to generate electricity from the sun, we can also insulate our country from the prime fluctuation in global energy markets. Like, well, it drastically reduces or even eliminate your electricity bill. So with the solar panel system, you will generate free power from your system entire 25 years life cycle. And even if you do not produce 100% of energy you consume, solar will reduce your electricity bill, because now net metering is already permitted by most of the utilities, and you will still save a lot of money. So on a great return on your investment. So solar panels are not an expense; they are one of the best way to invest with returns, rivaling those who traditional investment like stocks and bonds. And thanks to the substantial electricity bill saving, energy homeowners pays off their solar panel in 4 to 5 years and sees a return on investment of about 20% or more every year. Like, and this is the typically the, you can think about one scenario of the growth of this solar energy. I mean, how it has gone, and this is the typically the growth, you can call it, in different country of the world. Like, I mean, also in different years. Like, okay, we'll come back. Of course, here you can see it. So if you look into top 10 countries who added the solar capacity in 2019, and India is the third. We have added around 9.9 gigawatt, which is 8.6%, like after China and US. So we are third in growth, but absolute terms we are fifth. Like on the right side, you see, like how much we have absolutely around 42.8 gigawatt at the moment. Like this is the data typically of this of 2019. Like so, after you can understand after that also there could have been a lot of further increase. And this is a growth. If you talk about like typically in the 5 top country in the world, this is a growth in last typically 10 years. Okay, how it is in typically going to in China, and how it is like in US, and how it is like a typically you can call it in Japan. And how it has been typically in Germany, and of course in India, the growth. So you can see the growth in India is much substantial than other countries which are already having this. So this is substantial growth, and why this technology you can think about like coming up very big way. And you can see the accelerated case. Like in probably we are somewhere in 2021, but you can see the accelerated growth by up to 2025 or so. So, well, you can think about what is the impact of solar energy into Indian energy scenario. The global energy capacity addition are expected to reach nearly 107 gigawatt in 2020, representing the stable growth from 2019. And International Energy Agency monthly deployment data indicate the construction activity of utility scale projects slowed down in March to April due to the corona background, but rapidly regained speed in mid-May. And development of distributed PV energy remains sluggish in large markets such as China and US. Although activity in most of European markets, Australia and Brazil has been the hampered significantly. It supports the government agenda of substantial growth while emerging as an integral part of the solution to meet the national energy needs and the essential player for energy security. And still the share of distributed applications in total PV development is expected to decline 37 this year and the lowest since 2013. So India PV development declined for the second straight year as DISCOM financial health changes persist and COVID typically measures in bit construction activities. There has been a visible impact of solar energy in the Indian energy scenario during the last few years, and solar energy based supplies and distributed applications have benefited millions of people in Indian villages by meeting their cooking, lighting, and other needs in an environmental friendly manner. And it has given like a typically a social and economic benefit, which include reduction in drudgery among the rural women and girls engaged in the collection of fuel wood from the long distance and cooking in a smoky kitchen, minimization of the risk of contracting lungs and eye ailments, and employment generation at village level, the improvement in the standard of living, and creation of opportunity for economic activities at village level. Well, solar energy sector in India has emerged a significant player in the grid connected power generation capacity over the years, and it supports the government agenda for the substantial growth while emerge as an integral part of the solution to meet the national energy needs and essential player for energy security. Well, this is the solar map of the world, but it's basically solar potential of India. If you look into the yellow, and this is the data, you can think about what is the meaning of this. This is the, the kilowatt, you can call it power generation. Typically how much power generation you can have, so many kilowatt typically per square meter. Typically kilowatt hours per meter square. So we are somewhere, you can call it like between 4 to 7. I'll just come to back that you can see with the probably the color of yellow color. So we are in somewhere in this zone, typically all of that. So these are of course the, you can call it statewide solar energy potential in the country and of different states. And Karnataka is the top at the moment, and then followed by the different tiny states like. So India is endowed with a vast solar energy potential and about 5,000 trillion kilowatt hour per year energy incident over India land, with the most parts receiving 4 to 7 kilowatt per square meter per day. And India has a solar potential about 748 gigawatt, consuming 3% of the wasteland area to be covered by solar modules. This is the data from MNRE website, and it has taken a central place in India National Action Plan on Climate Change and National Solar Mission as one of the key missions. So National Solar Mission launching on 11th January 2010 have set a target of development of and deployment 20 gigawatt solar power by 2022. The National Solar Mission target has been revised from 20 gigawatt to 100 gigawatt by cabinet in meeting held on 17 June 2015 after 5 years. And the mission objective is to establish India as a global leader in the solar energy by creating the policy conditions for solar technology diffusion across the country as quickly as possible. And this is in line with the Indian intended national determined contribution target to achieve about 40% cumulative electric power installed capacity from non-fossil fuel-based energy resources and to reduce the emission intensity and its GDP by 33 to 35% from 2015 level by 2030. So solar, typically you can call it solar power sector in India has emerged as a fast upcoming section in the last few years and emerging as an integral part of the solution to meet the national energy needs. And recently, India has achieved the 5th rank in the world in solar power deployment. And in solar power, capacity has increased more than 11 times in the last 5 years, 2.6 gigawatt to in 2014 to 28.18 gigawatt in 2019. And we are ahead. So might be we already crossed now maybe probably 45 gigawatt. So which you can see the growth in typically in 7 years or so. So, the government, of course, schemes are there to promote this solar energy. Government of India have launched various schemes to encourage generation of solar power in the country through solar park scheme, visuality gap funding scheme, CPUSC scheme, defense scheme, canal bank and canal top scheme, bundling scheme, and grid connected solar rooftop scheme. And these are typically capacity added, you can call it in different years. And what is the total capacity, cumulative capacity also. And these are the capacity virtually of different renewable power, not only that like solar, but small hydro, wind, biogas, and what is the total in the state-wise that for all the states in the country. So state-wise installed capacity, typically on 28th March 2021, February 2021, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Maharashtra and Rajasthan are the top 5 states of India in renewable power generation. Currently, and India meets the 24.7% energy demand from the renewable energy sources, which is a quite good sign. And in the total power generation, 42.04% power generated by solar photovoltaic. And in the typically you can call it in the total renewable. And from total solar power generation, 91.08% is generated by the ground-mounted solar photovoltaic system, and remaining 8.12 generated by the rooftop solar photovoltaic system. Well, the off-grid solar PV application program is one of the oldest program of the ministry. It aims at providing solar PV based system in an area where the grid power is either not available or is unreliable. And applications such as solar home lighting, solar street lighting, solar power plant, solar pumps, solar lantern, and solar study lamps are covered under the program. Under National Solar Mission, a target of 2,000 megawatt peak was kept in off-grid solar PV application. So under phase 1 of the mission from 2010 to 13, a target of 200 megawatt peak was kept, and it was achieved. 2003 was sanctioned, and under phase 2, that typically it was target was kept, and again it was sanctioned. So when sanction have been more than the what it has been used, and solar pumps are installed under PM Kusum scheme of Ministry of Power, and solar home lights are taken under the Saubhagya scheme of Ministry of Power. And these are the status, you can call it, of the typical installed capacity of typically a solar pump like 2,81,000, and solar lantern, solar street light, solar lighting system, solar plant also. Well, these are you can call it again the solar PV system on 28th February 2021 in different states of the country, typically about all 37 identity of the country. So total 8.3 lakhs street lighting and 17.23 home lighting system are installed in various states of India under various government schemes, and total 79.6 low lantern were distributed in electrification village under the different government scheme, and total 216 megawatt of peak power solar plant are installed in various states of India, and total 2.81 lakh solar photovoltaic pump power generation are installed in various states of India under the scheme called PM Kusum scheme and solar pump Yojana. And well, so what are the typically recent major investment in India on renewable energy sector? So Brookfield to invest 800 million in ReNew Power, and Surabji will invest around Indian rupees 750 crore in a 150 megawatt solar floating power project in Uttar Pradesh and Bhadla solar plant in Rajasthan, which will be the first largest solar plant with a capacity of 2.22 gigawatt. So the five top largest, you can call it solar plant are Bhadla of Solar Park 2.25 gigawatt. It's located in Rajasthan, in Bhadla village. That's it's called the Bhadla plant. And these are the little detail of it. And the second is Saktesala solar project of 2.05 gigawatt in typically in Karnataka, an ultra solar park of 1 gigawatt in typically in Andhra Pradesh, and Riva project 750 megawatt in Madhya Pradesh, and this Kamuthi solar plant of 648 megawatt in Tamil Nadu. So these are the five top plant in India. And then the world top five solar PV developer in India is Adani Green Energy, supposed to have 12.3 gigawatt, and then DCL New Energy 7.1 gigawatt they have to, and SP Energy 7 gigawatt, and NL Green 6 gigawatt, and Brookfield 5.7 gigawatt. So these are the top five PV developer like coming out. So you can think about how the application of solar photovoltaic in solar farm, how it look like. I mean, these are the photographs already of installed plant in India, and how it is in the remote location. Like you can call it like maybe kind of off-grid kind of sometime like and then how it standalone application of this in parking meters or street light, traffic light sign, or it can be telecom tower. So this is telecom sector is a big sector in India, 4.5 lakh telecom tower, and the government, and they are the second largest consumer of the diesel after the railway. We give the subsidy on the name of farmers, but who is consuming the diesel? First is the railway, second is the typically you can call it the telecom tower. And government of India issued to them they have to use the solar panel to reduce the consumption of the diesel because they use the DG set, genset, they use the battery pack, they use the PV array. So they can easily take a PV array because they have energy storage already there with the battery bank. So there is a big move. I mean, of this. Think about like you can have like a 7.5 4.5 lakhs telecom tower. Even each tower have a typically about 10 kilowatt, 10 to 20 kilowatt. That how much solar generation will come out of that. Like another major application of solar is the standalone your solar water pumping, irrigation water pumping system or drinking water supply system. And it's coming big way. Another is this standalone power for street lighting. And you can just clearly see the street lighting system, then solar parking, or then typically your satellite, I mean power in space, or in a solar window rooftop in building related needs. I mean there have been a zero energy building and where the solar PV has been one of the major contributors other than other technology like then the military use. You can just see on mobile vehicle as well as the military man having his bag with the solar panel so that he can charge even maybe the typically the electronics equipment like mobile and others, and you can see the other accessories and other I mean typically mobile kind of the equipment of this and the transportation sector. It is big way like a simple rickshaw, or you have a typically truck buses. Okay, they have even on the train you can see the solar panel and typically railway station and metro station. And it's coming big way on each metro station of in Delhi in the last line from typically going to the Faridabad or you can call it Ballabgarh. I mean each typically I mean which was probably you can call it inaugurated by Prime Minister. So it is each one having around 450 kilowatt solar panel on metro station, like to meet all the requirement of that particular you can call it the metro station, and it's coming on the big way typically on different railway station also. Well, we have estimated future projected solar PV generation in India, the potential about 2566 gigawatt. So first we took it a wasteland, which is from MNRE data 3%. If Indian wasteland is taken, then the 748 gigawatt can be generated by the solar or side way of the highway. I mean, if you keep it like a 1 megawatt will come from a per kilometer, and you have a 6 million kilometer highway, then you will have a 600 gigawatt like. And in the water pumping, if each pump takes a 10 kilowatt and you have a 150 million farmers in the India, so that is 500 gigawatt. It's not only farmers, probably you might have even in UP, you might have seen UP Jal Nigam, they have a very good catchment area. So entire, typically the water pumping system, or even the office of the Jal Nigam can be powered from the solar panel if you install really the solar panel into their premises, like, and they can even sell of electricity to the grid also. So they will have certainly not only the, I mean, you will find overhead time, I mean, which is a good storage of energy in the daytime you can fill up. Otherwise, we do that because electricity is not available 24 hours. and typically so much catchment area with the solar generation, then the office as well as the operator home, all can be well electrified from solar energy itself. So that is not even covered in that. So you can think about. Then villages, if you have a school, I mean every community, I mean develop, you have a school, hospital, community center, water supply, panchayat office, another facility. So you can easily install in every village around 500 kilowatt for such purpose, and there are 600,000, 6 lakh villages in India. It can be easily around 300 gigawatt. And canal top, one canal top is around like a 2 gigawatt. Okay, and there are typically around 100 canals, more than 100 canals in India, so it can be 200 gigawatt. Or we can have a like a Ujjwala Yojana, which I was mentioning, like you can have a 2 kilowatt panel on the rooftop of to whom you are giving a gas cylinder outside. So in place of that, you put a 2 kilowatt panel, and it can be easily, I mean, it can give you around 10 units, which is more than enough for cooking, lighting, fans, TV, and other appliances. Not only cooking, which is gas cylinder give cooking, but it can do all other these activities also, like lighting, fans, TV, and other appliances. And total 50 million households are in India, so that are around typically 100 gigawatt. And you know to import the gas which you are giving the gas cylinder side. It can be good replacement of Ujjwala Yojana through solar, like or this electric three-wheeler, each covers around 400 to 500 watt, and you have already like a typically the typically 3 crore e-rickshaw already there, and we are expecting like a typically of 100 million three-wheelers in India, so it can be easily 50 gigawatt on rooftop of even these vehicles. Then you have educational institutes like IIT, NITs, and all central institutes, and each can have a 2 megawatt potential. I'm saying 2 megawatt because we install it. Otherwise, we have a potential typically around 10, typically 10 megawatt, because if you put on the 14 hostels, like, and we have now 3 campus, it can be easily around 10 megawatt. And even if we take a conservative view of 2 megawatt, there are 40,000 institutions, so it can be easily 50 gigawatt. And railway and metro station each can have around 500 kilowatt. There are 7,000 railway stations and 500 metro stations in India, so it can be easily 5 gigawatt. And if we take a school installation of solar panels on of 20 kilowatt on each, which Chandigarh have already schools, all schools now 40 lakh, 4 lakh private schools are there, so it can be easily 5 gigawatt. And government PSU, I mean, it can have a, on their project around 10 megawatt, so 500 central and state PSU are there, so again 5 gigawatt. And on bank rooftop, I mean, if you put there a 1.2, 20 kilowatt even, 1.2 lakh banks are there, so it can contribute 2 gigawatt. And petrol pump, you can easily have a 20 kilowatt. I mean, on roof of that, there are 60,000 petrol pump in India, so you can have a 1 gigawatt, and which accounts total PV generation of 2566 gigawatt, which is around like a more than 7 times. Virtually, you can call it like at the moment 7 times than what we have total PV generation. But if we are able to do that, I think we'll be able to run all our activities from the electricity, very cheap electricity, which at the moment is the 2 rupee, but we are expecting probably next 5 to 6 years this will reduce less than 2 rupee. It might come to 1.5 rupee or around 1 rupee or so. Well, this is about the little brief about how much we have a potential. Then there may be a system like residential one, maybe off grid or grid type, or you can have a like how you mount the, I mean, and how did the roof mounted, ground mounted, and tracking system, and how you have electricity production typically of so much electric production of one in 2017 is the, and how much energy was generated. And this was the like your prime minister when he was the chief minister of Gujarat. And I mean, first 1 megawatt canal top solar project. You know what reported were reported that so much water will be saved because that will not be evaporated from canals. And this canal becomes like a picnic place, like with the proper surveillance, with the security. And we might have hundreds of typical. And this was only for a small distance. It was not like a very large distance, like also. So you can have a very big potential even for canal top, like which is quite safe. I mean, it does not have any devastation or something. And this is the first, which I already mentioned, it of 2.0, second largest, I mean, park of in, and then the in Badla, Rajasthan. This is first largest rooftop. I mean, in Vyas, Dera Vyas in Amritsar, 7.52 megawatt rooftop is there. I mean, typically where a lot of people live there in that, like, and typically about that. So there are, of course, I mean, some advantage of this. Typically, you can call it like a your rooftop PV generation. I mean, grid interface system. Plus, one benefit is saving of transmission and distribution losses because you can generate the place where you are utilizing. Low gestation time, you can install the plant within a month or couple of months. Not even a big plant like order of so much, even a 7-8 gigawatt on rooftop can be even in 2 to 3 months. No requirement of additional land, and improvement of tail and grid voltage, reduction in congestion with higher concern, and local employment generation, reduction of power bill by supplying surplus electricity to the supplier, and battery eliminate the make of installation, reduce the cost of system. So no storage losses rates and local, power quality management and the peak power saving. And so these are some other benefit anyhow. I can probably you can go through them. And there are some of course advantages, disadvantages of course there are some issues of course which really why we have gone to the research in this. These are the issues what told us in our grid is much different than typically from the grid in the other country where the manufacturer are there like over voltage. We have over voltage, under voltage. We have instance voltage change. We have voltage unbalance, and we have other protection issues, power quality issues, and grid. Usually the government. Typically utility were not ready to accept this with a minus, or you can call it like a net metering. Now all some issues are slowly are taken care by proper guidance and proper research in that area. And of course, typically another major problem is the intermittent nature. And of course, in India, we have a lot of islandic position because grid may disappear like anytime. Why? So now question is why we require advanced control algorithm for solar photovoltaic system. For better control of solar photovoltaic system to increase the maximum power tracking accuracy in accurate actual environment condition, to increase the MPPT efficiency in practical conditions such as partial setting, and to improve the synchronization of the solar panel system with the weak distribution grid, to improve the power quality of the solar photovoltaic system in practical grid conditions such as unbalanced and distorted grid, and of course with the local unbalanced and nonlinear load, and to reduce the effect of solar intermittency on the distribution transmission grid. So these are the why we require typically the research in this further. So I will be talking about a little bit. I asked one of the students around I think 3 to 4 years back that why don't look into the MPPT, do something new, because actually he came with the MTech in power system background, and he said he knows a lot of algorithm like heuristic algorithm. You might have heard of most of you might have heard about like PSO, particle optimization technique. A lot of algorithm we were talking about this. We were talking artificial intelligence algorithm. They are used in power system, but only for simulation. So I asked him, well, I don't know about this algorithm, but I may give you a platform where you can test your practically this all algorithm, and it's a very good. That I can give you a platform like a solar, let's say simulator. Panel is a very difficult to do the research because full power is only very few times. So, but we can simulate. So we have a typically around 20 solar emulator or simulator already of 10 kilowatt. And I told him, okay, you have a boost converter, and then you have a battery. So why don't let's say test your whole MPPT algorithm on that? So then he started working of it, and it was very interesting and challenging. What he is able to do it and come out. So this was the first. He built up the system and used this algorithm what he called Cauchy and Gaussian cosine optimization algorithm. It's a good optimization algorithm because you have to maximize the power at every moment of time. The power is different because of the changing of solar insolation as well as the time. Okay, so I just asked him to make this platform that we have a PV already simulator or emulator. You have a boost converter, you have a battery. Okay, and I told you can have even only single sensor. Okay, why single sensor? Because battery voltage is almost fixed, so you only sense the current of the battery, and that's nothing but the power. Typically, and you maximize it. Of course, he told that because of typically this current may be discontinuous. Look, even if it is let's say maybe having a ripple of, but it's a ripple of your switching frequency, maybe 10 kilohertz or 20 kilohertz. Use the low pass filter of 1 kilohertz cut off frequency, you will get only DC component, and this algorithm is not going to run faster than let's say 1 kilohertz, or let's say much faster than 1 millisecond. So you can easily do. So and start looking on that, and he found very interesting result for this. So this Cauchy and Gaussian sign optimized algorithm he used is a hybrid of Cauchy density and Gaussian distribution function, the sign cosine optimization algorithm. And this algorithm creates a population start. This is the implementation aspect of this. Arithmetical analysis reduces the randomness and increases the sequential behavior, which ensures performance of HCO high frequency waves. And these are typically the flow chart how we really go into this implementation of the algorithm. And if you really change the intensity of the temperature, how it is going to affect your typically the voltage and power. I mean, like typically the global MPPT, I mean, on the different pattern of the same panel. I mean, you have a panel, but how is the pattern with the time? I mean, you can see the on axis, the time is changing from 0 to typically for 24 hours or so. I mean, with different time. And then you have to find out the typically global MPPT in the changing with the time and temperature. Like, and use the many algorithm and tested it. What he tested that you are probably able to track, then you will be able to. One is the lose of energy, and then there will not be oscillations into it. Like, and more important was the tracking time. So if you are able to track faster, you are able to get the stable operation of the system very quickly. Then you, I mean, let's say it reduces from typically from 4 seconds to 2 seconds. Then you are not losing the energy of 2 seconds up to some extent, like also. So these are the some, of course, I mean, he put typically, I mean, the experimental observation and simulation observation also of chlorine partial setting. There are plenty of example I can tell you where the partial setting, like I told you, the rooftop of the vehicles as well as the satellite. So plenty of applications are where the this partial setting may happen. I mean, like, and you can use this algorithm like and these are the experimental results. These are the two axis result when you are typically you can think about your I mean, intensity or changing of the solar panel. Like typically, you can see the current is changing and all that, and power is changing. Well, the reviewer, because this was the typically, I think we publish in IEEE transaction, and reviewer says that I cannot judge by the two only. Typically, on this piece of paper as a two axis, you have to record and make a video that how far tracking is there, and just put in the YouTube and send the link. You know, to send the identity, okay, to us, like, and link can be opened by anyone. So using the that latest technology, I mean, he's able to get a faith, yes, our implementation and this algorithm is really good or fast better than existing one. And look into a different pattern and look into very interesting, challenging that how we can go from local minima to global, I mean, global max peak power, I mean, during the changing the solar intensity or so in this and different patterns. I mean, he used around 10 patterns in some cases 4 pattern, 5 patterns, and how it is going to be, how quickly it is going to be MPPT. Finally, you can see with the after the perturbation. I mean, typically under partial setting, especially or so, or even during changing the intensity in the whole day, like I mean, also. So virtually use the different algorithm. You can see the here to compare the algorithm because nobody has. I mean, without comparison, nobody will allow your typically research to publish because you have to show how it is better. I mean, under same conditions, you have to really implement the other technique which already reported. Like, I mean, also, so implemented many techniques, and then he going to probably with the typically with the self-predictive perturb observe. That is a improvement over the existing perturb observe algorithm. But of course, with the two sensors, like I mean, because sensor people don't expect that you will be I mean, requirement of sensor, but that was the something I told him on the one day that, okay, why don't you use the sensor? So this is with the two sensor, and you use this improvement of the existing algorithm by self-predictive algorithms into that, like also, and what he got and how did the concept came with the typically of 3-point concept, like, and going to very fast towards the MPPT point on this different cases, like also how moving to the, and then implementation aspect of crossing 3 points and all that of, and final reaching very fast to the change MPPT conditions like of the power, changing the duty cycle of the boost converter and then implementation aspect of this. Also how it is we are able to go it. I mean, right side you see it. They are the conventional P and O. I mean above one. Second one is the modified one, and the third is this especially self-predictive pattern observe technique. So you don't find that tracking is very fast and there is no oscillations. Like it does not take so much time. Like I mean, also. So typically under sudden variation of also, and typically the experimental result is all the three algorithms. You can see with the lower one you don't have oscillations also, as you see in the conventional P and O and modified P. And then change of another insulation change, reduction, not increase, and reduction. These are, of course, the comparison, of course. I'll leave the slide and you can have a look at it. And this is another algorithm you look into typically like your inductance, self-adaptive. He put a self-adaptive concept into it, intelligence into existing on in with incremental conductance with the ripple reduction also in that. And this is the implementation aspect of that typically. And coming to stepwise reduction manner and comparing all 6 techniques into that. Like then he has gone to typically another algorithm called intelligent monkey king evaluation algorithm. This called bio-inspired algorithm. So this was typically the monkey king evaluation algorithm which he used in this case again concept on this intelligent monkey king evaluation algorithm for again for MPPT. And this is a flow chart of the algorithm what he really implemented. I mean, like, and he took a 10 setting pattern. I mean, like, and coming to MPPT from local minimum to maximum peak power to global peak power. I mean, like in different pattern, like, I mean, also, and typically the kind of how fast is able to go in different patterns. I mean, this algorithm takes so much time in seconds, where these algorithm, if you talk about, I mean, that takes like a typically the existing one, how much time takes. So it's really reduction of around to from 4.5 8 second to only 0.91 second. So this much time reduction in the sense around 4 second easily, or around 3.8 second, you can easily get additional energy generation from. I mean, like also if you are able to track fast, like that the concept is like. So you compare on artificial B and ES algorithm, and then this, like you, I mean, they say you have to compare with the existing already, which are Biosphere algorithm only from that. Like, so these were a little bit, I mean, the in MPPT, I think we work out with around 10 algorithm, okay, within almost 1 year, and I have a 10 good quality, top quality journal publication. I go on giving different input to him, I mean, like as a sensor reduction and other things, and then advising him how to go. But now, of course, this system have to be interfaced. Like it was the only battery charging or otherwise feeding the load, maybe isolated. But of course, in the large system, you have to interface to the grid right now. So when you put to the grid, I mean, we look into the probably last 1 decade. I mean, the sum of the spectrum, interestingly. So when you put a solar power to the grid, I mean, this is like a single phase. So I mean, I've gone to funding agency assuming that, considering that, because I'm a person of power quality and power electronics. So I say power converter is already here. I have to only modify the control of it. And by modifying the control of it, what I can do it, even in the daytime, I can improve the power quality of the grid current and compensating even the local load. I mean the inverter is not supposed to generate the harmonics which really go to the grid, but it's supposed to eliminate the harmonics of other existing load at the point of common coupling and feeding the active power to air, and whatever power remaining power goes to the grid, it should be at unity power factor. So it's full, and this I mean other, you can call it the features. We can say it can be 24 hours. At least it can recover the cost of power electronics, like, and the payback can be reduced of this solar system. Like I told power electronics cost, I am going to make zero only by modifying the control. We are not going to add the single element into additional element into it, only modifying the control. So that aspect we put into here, and we are able to get succeed, like, okay, for improving the typically the power quality of the grid, I mean, like also, and that is for 24 hours by modifying. So what we did here, like in this algorithm, I mean, we do MPPT of solar because it's a single stage system. I mean, the same inverter have to do MPPT also, because this, virtually we control this DC link voltage correspond to MPPT voltage. And this inverter is supposed to improve the power quality, means fitting the load requirement. I mean, like not only probably harmonics and reactive power, but supposed to meet even after active power also locally, and remaining active power we feed to the grid at unity power factor. So grid is not really getting bothered by these aspects, and that can be even the load composition can be for 24 hours even when the solar generation is not there. But when solar generation is there, it automatically start feeding the power to the grid. Like, but other features it remains to on for 24 hours. Like, so that is the modification of the typically the algorithm. So I mean, what we use is a neural network algorithm. I mean, typically for the control of this inverter, and this is the typically the block of this algorithm. How we are, I mean, you can understand even the algorithms will work very well. Even there is a voltage distortion and there is a voltage fluctuations also. I mean, all those conditions also. I mean, you cannot dictate to the grid, your grid is bad, that's why my inverter will take. No, even if the grid is bad, still we should be able to feed the power to the grid and maintain the unity power factor, a current in phase with the voltage, and then meet the local requirement of local loads, like also. So that's typically the control, and you can see clearly that voltage and current, they are out of the phase, so power is fed to the grid, but the compensation of this load current, I mean, load is non-linear, is taken care by the inverter. So grid side, it reflects like only the active power at unity power factor, and meeting the local requirement of the load is taken care by the inverter. Like, and we are able to reduce the TAD of the grid current only 1.4%. Our standard allow typically around, I mean, order of 5% or so. Even 1.2% by the voltage TAD, current TAD is only 1.4%. Like, we got in some cases like here the voltage TAD 2.3%, but current TAD 2.4%. And the solar power generation is, you can see even the voltage is changing. I mean, even if you have over voltage, system work without any problem. Even if there is under voltage, system work very perfectly all right. Of course, grid current will change for the same power also. I mean, but you can understand here, I mean, the grid current TAD, even if voltage are distorted, grid current TAD is not increasing. And you can see here the grid THD current, grid voltage THD is 7.8%, but current THD is only 2.1%. I mean, you have to, here the interesting part, developing algorithm in such a manner, he's not only one algorithm for, typically improving the current quality, but you have to, filter even the signal which are sense the voltage for the control. That also you have to filter. So double filtering or double algorithm is required for such a system. And then the solar, if increase the solar power generation, system work very well. Solar power generation reduces very well. There is no solar power generation, still the system run very well in the night, from day to night. Or even if there is a, like you can see the power is fed in the day, and in the night it work as a D-STATCOM. Load is not affected, but load, grid current is sinusoidal. You can clearly see here. Of course, the power is coming from the grid, to the local load. But the compensation of load is taken care by D-STATCOM. So grid current is maintained sinusoidal. And typically, you can see the grid current THD still maintain 2.2%, where the voltage THD was 2. Well, Indian gate, you can say voltage is not ideal, because maybe we are taking like a typically like maybe a solar emulator, but actual grid we are taking when we are doing the all experimental results here. So these are, and that we cannot prove. We don't have a grid simulator, so we work out with the actual grid there. Maybe right or wrong. So anyhow, this is competitive features, because they always ask with the conventional algorithm. How good is the yaw? So then we extended to two-stage system. When we were going to two-stage system, I asked my student, especially, typically, usually practically is the single stage system which I have shown earlier. Single stage means only inverter do the MPPT as well as it feeds the power to the grid, but those features are not there. We talk about power quality improvement and 424 hours. But when we go to two-stage system, it's more challenging. I asked my student to do it because you are adding an additional cost of boost converter here. But if you are adding a cost of this, you have to get some additional features of it, and which I asked my student to look into positively, that you have to look into the result. And we got very interestingly, now if you have this, boost converter, then this DC link voltage can be coordinated in relation to the grid. And interestingly, or you can call it unfortunately, our grid voltage varies over a wide range. So if you can have a relation between DC link voltage and this, which this system can allow, even if you keep, let us say, 340 volt of DC link or 440 DC link, still solar power can be fed to it. Okay, but the major problem is that if you can reduce the losses in the inverter by coordinating the relation between DC link voltage and this AC voltage, and we are able to succeed in some of the situations, we are able to reduce the losses in the inverter around the order of 4%. Here the additional losses in boost converter was not more than 1.5 to 2%. So we are able to generate even additional power of 2% more, from this solar system by taking two-stage system and it works more satisfactorily, reliably, compared to the single-stage system. And as well as the rating of the components are reduced. Like now you can select the PV panel voltage equal to the DC link voltage. However, in single-stage system, the open circuit voltage should be at least 20% higher than what the typical DC link voltage or MPPT voltage was. Also, here the peak voltage can be equal to this, and boost converter do and only MPPT boosting only. So these are control, for MPPT as well as for other portion, and then the filter design, and we are able to operate successfully. Like you can see the grid current is typically sinusoidal and in out of the phase with the voltage. And when the solar, either the load is changing or solar generation is changing, system works very well. Even the voltage is changing on the grid. That load is changing, grid voltage is changing. Okay, solar panel generation is changing, PV power generation. So system without disturbance, it runs under all the conditions. Also, of course, we have to honor the rating. So even if there is a PV off, it works as a D-STATCOM and maintaining the grid current panel also and in phase with the voltage. The power, you can call it power generation is there or not. Then I asked my student to add into energy storage. So once you add to the energy storage like a battery here, which you can have on DC link, you are going to add the cost, maintenance and replacement. So, but you have to look into what benefit it can provide. We look into one benefit to take care of not only the intermittency of solar generation, the intermittency of the load. You can change the load also. No? Load may be there, may not be there, load may be varying. Or in India, we have intermittency of the grid also. So grid also may not be there. So if grid is not there, in that case, you will be losing the generation. But here, since we have energy storage, we will not lose the generation. We'll feed this load, and the excess power will put into the battery, and when The grid is not there, we can feed to the load. Or another way, another features, like it has a lot of, you can call it the, you can call it mode. When grid is there, you can feed the constant power to the grid. So grid should not see whether your solar generation is changing or load is changing. So intermittency of the your load, intermittency of the solar generation is not reflected on the grid, and the grid intermittency is also not reflected in the load. Where load is getting undetectable power similar to kind of UPS. So by only addition to a battery into it, you are able to add with your. I mean, when grid is not there, you are not going to lose the generation. When grid is there, you are not seeing the fluctuations from the power generation from the PV generation on the grid. So battery takes care, I mean, all those additional benefit into this system. And of course, there are interesting challenges here. One is, of course, the different, so many modes of control, and otherwise the synchronization to the grid. When grid is not there, you have to operate this system in islanding mode with the voltage control so that you get the like a UPS. I mean, like even if we look into UPS literature, we couldn't get it. I mean, the very smooth transition. I mean, they talk about the relay, but we are not, I mean, we can't operate the system with the relay. So we have to have a well synchronization algorithm for that. So we have to have now a number of algorithms. The voltage, when grid connected is there, voltage may be distorted, voltage might be fluctuating. Even under that case, we have to certainly filter the voltage for the use in control when grid connected mode is there. And then this load may be non-linear. We have to regulate the voltage also here. So we need the algorithm not only for current but for voltage, and then for taking care for this intermittency also, and of course taking full benefit of the battery. And you can feed the power when the peak power. Another features you can put in, because battery major application have been in the power system that you can see. I mean, save the peak power saving also. So when power cost is high, you can store the battery. You can take the power from the battery here, and when you have a lean period, very cheap electricity, you can charge the battery. So similarly, we are considering that feature also you can accommodate here, provided your battery capacity allowed to do so. So this is typically the, of course, different modes of, I mean, typically of operation and synchronization and islanding, all the control in synchronized mode, and the control algorithm for filtering the voltage and as well as the current, and then using the modified control from one control and compare with the previous control. Otherwise, the viewer don't clear it, and have a good MPPT for different insulation level. And you can see typically the voltage. This is islanding mode of operation. Okay, islanding mode of operation. The voltage is sinusoidal when the current is non-linear, highly non-linear. You can see typically the TAD of the voltage is 1.5% when it is really feeding a TAD of the load current 32%. So it's working a very good UPS even with the kind of highly, I mean, non-linear load, but voltage are very close. I mean, very only 1.5% TAD. Well, when grid was not there, the inverter was feeding, because load voltage is there, so inverter was feeding it. I mean, this battery and inverter was feeding the load. But when grid appears, after around 3 to 4 cycles, it synchronized to the grid and grid is closed. But the load does not experience when grid disappears and grid appears. Okay, so you can think about how smoothly the synchronization is there in grid currents start appearing here. And of course, it takes a synchronized algorithm. So because we have to bring the angle of the converter inverter system closer to the grid, and then once it comes to closure, then we close the system. So smooth transition is also very important in this case. I mean, synchronization, which we couldn't find any literature. I mean, initially one or two students blown some devices, but after that I told to become cautious to do in proper simulation then. So we go on adding these features because in practical features, otherwise also you have to synchronize this total system to the grid, not only typically the kind of looking the behavior of your control only for the purpose of compensation also. And you can clearly see load is not affected when the grid disappears. I mean, load is not affected at all. Load voltage and load current remains there. Okay, and when solar insulation changes, system works very well with no problem. Load disappears, it still works very well, and more power is fed to the grid because generation kind of fixed, and TAD is always reduced less than 5% for the current. Even you can see here the TAD of voltage 1.7, but current TAD is only 1.3%. It means you're filtering the voltage for using the control before it is used in control also. Then of course we extend the work for 3-phase in single stage system. I mean, like taking care of full utilization of the inverter for 24 hours for compensating the local load and feeding the central current at unity power factor to the grid. Even the solar insulation changes or load changes there. So that we modify the control, and we use certainly this kind of intelligence control algorithm only in that. I mean, distributed dispatch control algorithm. I mean, like, and you can clearly see when load addition is there, how it is really the control mode. I mean, automatically takes care of that. Or when the load, you can just see when the load remove, how fast we are able to compare to other algorithm. I mean, like, I mean, this is something like they have to publish in IEEE transaction. So, I mean, the reviewer asked, you have to compare previously existing new algorithm, not the actual algorithm which is very old. So, these guys have to implement with the fastest one. So, you can see this is the fastest one, fast convergence and no oscillation. I mean, for settling down the response also and comparing all the algorithm into that. You can see the grid current three-phase balance and settle where your load current are not sinusoidal, and this is the inverter current which takes care the difference of two also in addition to power generation also, and even the load unbalancing it takes care of that. Like you have a single phase load, but you have a three phase balance current here like also, and then when load is applied, it automatically takes care without any problem. Earlier load was removed, now it is load is. I mean here load is applied. I mean here and here load is removed. So system works smoothly without any problem, like particularly. And when solar insolation changes, it also works very well, weather solar. Then we extended this work to two-stage system. Again, I told you we have to reduce the losses in a manner because we are going to additional losses in the push converter. We have to reduce the losses here. I mean, and modify the power control with this, and then how fastly the algorithm. You can just see how with the typically you can call it LMF. This means both algorithms have so much oscillation, but the LMF typically the LMS is this one, Foggy is this one, and the new AFLL technique. I mean, they give a very smooth kind of the filtering of the, you can call it the fundamental component of this non-linear load current. And then operating it under, let's say, load unbalancing, solar generation change, increase and decrease the solar generation under fault condition, because new standard says even if there is a fault, you have to keep the inverter connected. Because of two reasons, you can support the inverter from the inverter. Either the grid needs for, I mean, taking care of the fault retrieval either by reactive power or active power, which you can feed it there. And when suddenly the fault is removed, you should come to steady state very quickly if your inverter is on. If inverter is not on, you have to again synchronize. It takes some time, so you lose some energy also. So under fault condition also, it will remain connected into the system. I mean, so these are typically performance. You can see the grid current or sinusoidal with a very, I mean, TAD of 5%, and where the load was quite non-sinusoidal, even the voltage TAD was also substantial. Like, and dynamics when load is unbalanced, okay, how did even the grid current are not, I mean, it still remains sinusoidal, but more power will go to the grid because here there's not energy stored is not there also. And then when suddenly the energy, your PV generation lost, then it works active filter. You can see the current of just like active filter or DStatCom, and grid current remains sinusoidal. But now for feeding the load, the power is coming from the grid in place from the solar, of course in the night. So it's operating in the night as a DStatCom, and whenever in the morning the solar power start coming, it will start working your PV generation along with the DStatCom features like also. So when voltage are unbalanced or distorted, it's still able to work because we have to filter the voltage, but grid current are maintain sinusoidal balance and in phase with the voltage, even unbalanced voltage. Right? So all those features are also we are able to take care in, I mean, this, and you can see the voltage how much it is distorted, like, but you can call it the current is quite sinusoidal in that case. Like, well, typically, I mean, you can just see, I mean, like here we extended the work for 3-phase 4 wire, like just. हाँ 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 हेलो हाँ नहीं मेरा बेटा है हाँ जॉइंटली है मेरे साथ हाँ चलो मैं भेज दूंगा किसी को अभी तो कोर्ट में चल रहा है ओके हाँ 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 सर ओके ओके थैंक यू sorry anyhow there was a call I can't. So we extended it even for 3-phase 4 wire so that neutral current compensation can be also provided along with this boost current. So we taken all power quality issues along with the solar generation and taken another algorithm. So here we are able to eliminate the neutral current compensation under load removal, load addition, and even the grid current are still maintained. I mean, sinusoidal like also. So it worked very well in all, even under distorted voltage condition also. I mean, we took, like you can say, unbalanced voltage, okay, and we take a fundamental out of it in the distorted unbalance. We take fundamental, and from fundamental we calculate the positive sequence. I mean, like then only we use in the control. So you can see the, I mean, the unbalanced voltage, the voltage reduction, voltage unbalance, voltage distorted. So how we go, I mean, for extracting the balance and sinusoidal voltage here, like, and then use in the control. I mean, and the control is modified even the unbalanced voltage, where the grid current are balanced and sinusoidal, like, under that condition also we are able to get like very well. So voltage, you can see current are balanced and suddenly even the voltage are unbalanced, but the voltage is filtered, I mean, in the algorithm, like, and when load is removed or load are added, it works because it's a single phase load, looks like a kind of a square wave, and the neutral current is also eliminated here. I mean, so you can say the source neutral current is zero. Here the load neutral current, and here the VSC neutral current, like that. And you can say here the power, I mean, you can think about like, because you say two-stage system, so we are able to take care the DC link voltage, adaptive DC link voltage for reducing the losses, which I have mentioned earlier, under voltage sag and swell condition also, and which reduces the losses, and you get around couple of % extra generation under those conditions, even in under this voltage varying conditions, like. Then we added, of course, here also the battery, but here we added the battery with the buck boost converter. I mean, one more leg of inverter, and what the benefit it can offer it here. Now, the second usually the second harmonics will be there on the DC link if you have any unbalance either in current or voltage, and that is not going to the battery. So battery life is not affected. Moreover, you can take a battery voltage, optimum voltage of the battery. And then, of course, you have to synchronize. So it can give all benefits which I discussed it, like intermittency of the grid, intermittency of the generation, intermittency of the load is taken care by the battery. And even if battery is not there, you are able to feed the load like a UPS. So all those modes we are taken care of, and we feed the, you can feed the constant power to the grid. I mean, typically, so it will not see the intermittency either of the load or of the generation, because we are using the battery like here. And these are, of course, the control, I mean, which we use the advanced control here also, with the power filtering also, or even the synchronization is taken care of that. I mean, and of course, filtering the voltage and balance voltage, all those. And you can just see how it is typically, I mean, when the utilities recover, how it is the filter, how the angle calculated, and how the synchronization is taking place, like also. And then we took how the first taken of the fundamental component of load current for settling there with the compared to conventional algorithm or SRF algorithm of this algorithm. And even the volt, if you have a normal grid with this load, you have voltage are distorted. But when we are putting this, we are switching on this, even the voltage are improved. Why voltage are improved? Because now we are not drawing the non-sinusoidal current from the grid. Okay, we are making sinusoidal. So voltage profile is also improved under that condition. You can see when the converter, this system is not on, voltage are distorted because of non-linear current. But when the inverter is switched on, automatically voltage are also improved along with the grid current of sinusoidal balance. And this inverter takes care of meeting the local requirement of this load harmonics here locally. Like also. And this is typically like, I mean, you can say when the, you can say the power, solar generation is lost, the grid is start feeding the load. That's why then the phase sequence is changed. A grid current goes out of the phase compared to the voltage. I mean, that takes care here. Like, and this is typically the, I mean, in standalone mode, and the voltage TAD hardly 2.7% or even a 2 less than 3% when it's feeding a very highly non-linear load. Then, of course, we work out with the, because people talk about low voltage right through operation of this, enabling along with the harmonic compensation. So there may be a typically a low voltage right through. I mean, that we have to modify the control of this, and with the, because we have to estimate the now DC link voltage under this low voltage right through. I mean, the reference voltage we have to calculate and modify the accordingly the control, like, and reduce the typically the kind of losses also in transition with the adaptive voltage which I mentioned. So there was a reduction because we are able to take adaptive DC link voltage during even the voltage variations also, and modify the control accordingly so that losses, and we are able to take a low voltage right through the modification which are given in the standard and maintain the even operating the inverter successfully under low voltage right through problems also. And then the modifying the control of boost converter, how we take care during low voltage situations also on the sag conditions. I mean, how we have to reduce the power on feeding to the grid and take care of that, like, I mean, and operation under line to ground fault, line to line fault, because voltage have to get unbalanced under those fault conditions. But you can clearly see the supply current are not, I mean, remains sinusoidal balanced, like, because you have a different power generation also, it works very well with that. I mean, also. And typically experimentally also we observe when load is removed, load is at an unbalanced load, all those conditions also we test in voltage sag condition, voltage, I mean, swell conditions, we are able to see unbalanced voltage conditions also. And that is the concept of, I told you, adaptive deadening voltage for reducing the losses. Then we have gone to leakage current suppression also, because there is a standard that you must not have a 300 milliampere, leakage current more than that. So here the leakage current is because of common mode voltage, and grounding capacitance here, of the PV panel. So that we have to reduce it. So we analyze it, okay, and then of course, we look into how you can reduce it. By adding additional 2 vectors in the inverter switching, and by modifying the control and adding this circuit, we are able to reduce the leakage current to further down by this additional circuit and modifying the control of this H7 switch in addition to coordination of the inverter switch also. And these are modification for reducing this additional vectors into the inverter switching also, and reducing the leakage current. Like the leakage current is reduced, like less than 300 millisecond according to this is the standard VD standard responsible for reducing the less than 300 milliampere your leakage current in the system. So that also is taken care in that modifying the control also. So with this, I would like to now conclude the increased demand PV power system for central distributed generation, and government initiative have further increased the popularity of the small scale PV system, and classification of various PLC single phase, 3-phase configuration for solar energy conversion system has been investigated, and multifunction PV BSC simultaneously help in power quality improvement and performance of various single phase systems implemented and evaluated, and maximum power tracking algorithms have been demonstrated for single state, 2-stage system. PV intermittency for mitigation and time is demonstrated. A B-based system has the capability of similar side landing and synchronization, and low override capabilities, and leakage current suppression technique is also discussed. These are some of the references. I think there are around 24 books in solar generation, which I collected probably 5-6 years back when we started working. And these are typically some of our publication, including typically the first book and our student publications, typically on the solar energy generation. So thank you. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer that. So back to the organizer. I don't know, Mr. Yogesh is there or Dhananjay there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay.
Okay.
Saurabh,
Thank you, sir.
okay, you can take the questions if there are. I don't know, I'm sorry, I'm in time or I'm late.
So you were in time.
Okay.
Okay.
Because when we start working, we don't remember the time. Okay.
So it was very well organized by you, and the session was very good. And it started with solar PV and connected to load, and then it moved towards the grid, and then moving from 1-stage system to 2-stage system, and further just modifying the system with battery, how well issues were resolved. These were very good. These were very good points. Now I would like to open the platform for any queries. If participants have, you can kindly raise your hand in the control panel of the Google Meet. Sumit Verma, please.
डॉक्टर गुप्ता
हेलो
अपना वो अनम्यूट कर लो माइक डॉक्टर गुप्ता सौरभ गुप्ता
hello sir, can you hear me?
Yes,
hello?
Sumit, you're clearly audible. Go on with your
thank you
question.
sir. Good afternoon, Bhim sir. I'm a graduate student of Penn State University. I have few questions regarding your research, and right now, like it's been 1 year for me. I have been working.
Don't worry about our research. If you have any doubt for you just talk that. Okay.
Yes sir.
Okay.
Sir, I have been,
you are not supposed to find the fault in our research, because it is examined by so many people in the world. Every paper have a 5 reviewer. Okay. And this is 45 papers, so 200 people have already examined this work. Okay. And with the
yes,
like anything, so you know to examine. You have a doubt, then okay. If anything, then please come up. Okay.
Yeah, it's a genuine doubt from my side, because sir, I have been working on deep neural networks and supervised learning algorithm and reinforcement learning algorithm. So my question is, the first thing, sir, what process did you use for the weight update, to update the weight of the neural network?
We use the adaptive. Okay. It's not so straightforward. Because when you use the neural network is a common algorithm. So you have to modify your algorithm for a particular application. So you cannot have a very general. I mean, this is the kind of statement my student also gave 10 years back. And I have to give an electric shock. Then only he became trained for research. Because he tested all algorithm on theory. I say I don't believe in theory. I don't believe in simulation of power system. I believe only in hardware implementation. Man, go there and check it, okay? Then he had to modify lot of these all parameters into practical system. Otherwise, it could have damaged our system even. Are able to follow? So every
Yes,
process have a application implementation aspect into it. Okay, then you go more deep into that. Okay, for particular application, I can tell you very interesting. Some of the algorithm have a divide by zero. Okay, of your neural network to find out the weight. When we found that they write is something, some quantity which is zero, divide by zero. Okay, and then
yes, sir.
now you can say the algorithm isn't deterministic, so it will run away. It cannot run properly. So these guys have to come with the concept like we have to add a 0.001 so that there is no overflow into it, and system comes back from that problem. So such modifications are required certainly in a practical system. Okay, simulation it may not create any problem, but practical implementation is a practical implementation. You have to burn the blood. Okay, I don't know what artificial neural network, which problem you have applied, or you are talking about in general.
So basically, I just saw that your research paper has been used that Laplacian kernel
Yes,
function
we have
for
used.
the
Yeah, so
for the
my
weighted
student have to
case.
modify, otherwise he could have blown the. That is the reason they take 3 months to 6 months for simulation on our own problems, and implementation hardly takes a 1 week. That is the
Yes, sir.
ecosystem we build up in our laboratory, because senior student is there who has already implemented other algorithm on that physical system. Are able to follow? So here to understand and guide this guy who is just doing the simulation. Okay. So he said for this system, first you do the perfect simulation. If it comes properly, then I will put on my hardware. Otherwise, I cannot blow my inverter. Okay. Simply.
Yes, sir. Surely not, sir.
And the research is if you are working in isolation yourself alone, it takes hell of time. Sometimes you are very discouraged because your simulation may not be working. Okay. And you sleep, yeah, today it's not working. But my student, I mean, I have developed an ecosystem in the sense, unfortunately, from last 1 year is the corona, but still they discuss among themselves on phone. But the younger guy, I mean, I told you, look, my senior student cannot give you a research of 3 years in 3 minutes, or, I mean, he's not your servant. Devote 30 hours with him, 60 hours from him, make him good friend, work for him. If he asks you to bring the tea for him, I will not ask you to bring the tea for me. If he asks you to bring the tea, please, you can think about. I am not going to interfere in that way. I mean, think about how mechanics learn. Okay, you might have seen
Yes, sir.
driver and mechanics of the bus, how they learn. Okay, so you are literate.
Yes,
I mean, the literate people. So he will become your good friend. But you will learn his 3-year experience within hardly 3 to 4 days, or maybe 10 days or 20 days. So you are going to save 3 years. Then certainly you have to certainly be at least nice and do something for him. Okay. At least become
Yes, sir.
gentleman, okay? Because all those problems they might have already faced in 3 years, and they are learning from seniors. So I encourage the group research in place. Forget about their own, because most of the group, even if one professor student are there, their topic may be very closely related, and they are scared that another guy will steal my topic or my idea. Okay, so that features I have to take out, man. And I told like these are your research, separate research. Maybe same setup you have to use it. That is my job, okay? To guide them, supervise them, to consult them, to mentor them. Are able to follow? Then only good research comes. It's not really like, sorry, it's an ecosystem which built up in 30 to 35 years. Are able to follow? Like, I mean, and working with at the moment around 70 PhD students are working, 97 are graduated. So it's not so easy job. Even nowadays, I have to be at least counsel every day one guy. Out of 71 will become mad every day. You can think about, okay? And I have to take care of who is flying and who is dying. You have to take care, because both are your children, okay? Both are your students. So one might be flying, I have to still fly with the double the speed. And another is dying, I have to stop him dying, okay? Okay, I have to counsel him also. So, I mean, this algorithm, they have to run in simulation for their own system, because these algorithms are very general algorithms. I worked myself in algorithm optimization in 1980 when I was doing a project. So I got an algorithm, it is a very general, like a question Newton-Raphson method. But when I put my own motor design, it cannot work. because I cannot calculate the derivative so easily. So I have to modify my algorithm. I have to take only algorithm which suits to my problem. But otherwise, it is all optimization. So same problem is a kind of neural network. You have to modify to in a practical problem, because practical problem when you are applying, you might be putting, I mean, let's say some of the assumptions which may not be valid into another application. So this guy, fortunately, who came to me, he burned his blood, he floating here and there, and testing this algorithm on power system network, simulation, something. I'd say I don't believe in that. If you, thank you, it is your choice. If you want to continue PhD here, it is okay. Otherwise, you can go. Okay. But he was not having any choice. But you will not believe what he delivered in couple of years. In 1 year, in 1 year, he had to give me every month one paper, good quality paper. Only my job was, I mean, you promised that you know the algorithm, but this algorithm have to run for this practical system. And I hope once you run for this practical system, people will appreciate. And people appreciate it. I hope it partially answered. So I cannot give you a magic answer to your neural network will work for this problem or not quickly. I will follow.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the answer, sir.
You can take experience of the some people, some researcher who is working into that, but why they will give their work in 3 minutes? I mean,
That's
so
true,
I am supposed to give a 10 mark. Can I train you with my 10 years of training to you? Which, I mean, I learned with the probably 40, 50 PhD students. Like, I mean, but you can understand, they cannot make me fool. That I am very sure. I'm too much involved with them. Till I say you have to show me this way. If it is not coming, I'm not satisfied. Otherwise, student is smart. Okay, you have to be double smart.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you have to go with the PhD student. No, I have to fly the flying guy. I have to save the person who is dying. I'm like, okay. I don't know, means how to, I mean, like which algorithm you are talking about. That student, I think that algorithm used my student by around 2-3 years back. Okay. So you can go through his paper, practical result also, and ID also. And reviewer also grill anything for Indian reviewer. So you might find whatever the data or constant you want, there will be something buried in appendix or somewhere. We don't hide anything.
Yes, okay, sir. Sure, sir.
I hope it is answered partially your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Another question.
Okay.
Professor Saurabh.
Okay. Next, I would like to call Tarush Dixit for his question. Tarush Dixit. If anyone else is having any query,
no,
please,
if it is in a chat box, you can read the question. I can answer.
Okay. You can also type your question in the chat box.
I think now Dixit is there, I think.
Yes.
Also, Dixit, you have some question? I think he's muted.
Okay. Professor Bindal, Professor Abhay Bindal, please.
That is a very genuine request. Like somebody says, give the PDF of this PPT. Somebody says, give the PPT. Okay. But I have seen in my life, if you have your own book, you never read. If you borrow the book, you are able to read and return. Okay.
Sir, I can ask one more question if you...
Sure, Sumit, go ahead. No problem.
Yeah. Sir, are you researching anything about the multi-layer neural network in this sort of research area, in this sort of application?
Not at the moment. Okay.
Okay, sir. And
You
sir,
have given a good idea. You have given a good idea. I will ask my student to look into. Okay.
Sir, I've been working in the multi-layer neural network area and one more multi-agent system in reinforcement learning. We have a
No, but the
microgrid lab.
question is which application you are taking into it. I hope you are not developing new algorithm. No, you are not from computer science.
No, sir. Actually, I have been developed one my detection framework to detect those cyber attacks in the transmission system congestion. So this is my master thesis, and I have been submitted one journal article in this research area as well. So my
All the
my
best.
research,
Very good.
yeah, thank you, sir.
But you have to give a confidence to the reader. Yes, it will work.
It will,
Because
sir.
you could not have tested it, na? Have you tested it on practical system?
Yes,
No,
sir.
no.
Yes, sir. We did actually. We used in our microgrid system. We have in our Penn State laboratory. We have a good microgrid system over here. So by multi-agent system, we level the frequency, and we found that the frequency is getting converged in a much faster way than normally it did. And the PLCs are operating the circuit breaker in a much faster way when we are using the multi-agent system. So basically, it works on the reward basis system. So whenever
Actually, I am not working in a production area. My another colleague is there. Okay. I mean, like typically. Of course, I am guiding some student along with him. It was his student only with two about whom I am talking about. Okay, this algorithm. So,
Yes,
but
sir.
he was doing the simulation. I told, I prefer, I am not having a confidence in simulation. Of course, when you do implementation, first you do simulation. Then only you cannot go to directly implementation.
Sir,
Let's
I
say,
have been watching your research. It's been a very long time for us, and you are like a great person
but
for us.
unfortunately,
it's
I mean, it
just,
is very difficult to work in so many areas now because the problem is like we have to work in a confined area in which we got the funding. No doubt.
That's true, sir. Yes, sir.
So, any other question, Professor Saurabh? If there is no question, I think we can close.
Yes, sir. I don't think there is a query from the audience.
Okay.
So, on the behalf of entire KNIT Sultanpur family, I would like to thank Professor Bhim Singh sir for his expert talk and for sharing valuable decade research with the audience and for giving them direction to perform the research. Also, the scope of renewable energy, especially solar, in solar and various algorithms that can be applied to solar. Further, how he also discussed how to integrate solar panel into grid and improve the power quality via various algorithms. Sir, you have also enlightened us on how solar can have impact on the social life of women in a rural area, which we should do in our research. Further, we are highly obliged for the time you gave us. We hope to see you again for such knowledgeable session. Once again, thank you, sir.
So, thank you very much. So, can I leave?
Thank you, sir.
Oh,
yes,
Professor
sir.
VC, sir.
Okay,
Myself,
thank you,
Professor
Professor.
P.S. Verma.
I can see you, Professor Verma. No problem. Thank you.
काफी दिन बाद आपका लेक्चर सुना हमने पूरा अभी, है ना? काफी अच्छा लगा.
I have seen you in all capacity. I have seen you as a student examining